bit of a mixed mob.
Whereas the other expeditions that would have been there at the time, where are they?
They may well be there at the same time. Generally there'll be a bit of a crossover. We just say, using the tents, no, right, we'll use them for these dance, and if it all went to pot, well, we just cram in the tents a bit more. That way we could use each other's mats. It just saved carrying gear up all the time. They were climbing other things as well, so they weren't just climbing Everest. You know, one guy was doing Lhotse, another one was doing Nuptse, one wanted to do all three of them, so quite a mix.
Is that because it's so early season? Because I mean, you see all the photographs of traffic jams going up there.
Well, they'll be taken from a couple of key spots. One of them would be just above Camp 1, coming along the Coombe, where there's, you know, early in the season there's lots of Sherpas also trying to get lots of gear up. So that's an ideal time to take a photo if you want a lot of people. Other spots would be up on the Lhotse face. You'll see a lot, because you only need one or two slow people, and it suddenly goes, oh, okay, well, what's the point of hurrying, because I can overtake them, but then I can't breathe, so I'm only going to stop and now, you know, if you can overtake them, you've got to keep going, and often that's really pretty hard. So you might as well say, oh, I've only got to get there before dark. It doesn't matter. I can amble and survive it. Because I said at this stage, breathing, well, all of it, breathing is hard, and it's just getting harder. So Adam the Doctor, based at Camp 2. We've got a glacier next door, so if you want water, you just basically take a pickaxe and attack the thing. We use the tent bags for just filling up with ice, and take them and then melt them from there. From here to the bottom of the Lhotse face is about 2 hours walk. It doesn't look far, but that's where it is. And next camp's going to be somewhere in here, where that's clear to everyone. And this is the yellow band up here, and we'll cross over to and come up into this area. Some people getting close to the bottom of the Lhotse face in here, and there's a bergschrund which is like a broken up glacier as it comes from one angle to another. The Lhotse face can be steep or not. It tends to wave up and down. But as you can see from here, there's not much snow on it, it's just water ice. And you've got to really, to start the whole thing up, you've got to sort of climb up through this area and then onto the face and move up from there. Can anyone hear this?
Yeah.
Well, that's a 30-year-old. And he's not doing anything. And that's just coming up the face.
What's the altitude roughly where you are there?
7,000 metres. And so we're now at Camp 3. Great phones you get from an iPhone. Great photos. So you can see Camp 2 here. Camp 1 is going to be sort of in this spot here. You know, you really are struggling at this stage. Literally, we're just trying to breathe. From here on, we use oxygen. Setting oxygen to sleep. You can get around, but you just can't move very fast. Fortunately, Lena's a lot fitter than me, so she was there and got a brew on before I'm in the background, and I'm just sitting down going, what am I doing here? We're all kitted up now for the summit, so we've got the big suits on, and my gear's over there because you may want to have a look at it. Feel free to try them on. There's only two people who really make boots. Lena's got the Millet ones, all basically a number of different colours, and I've got the Sportiva, which seems to be the most popular one, the ones in yellow up there. They're all about insulation, because you need them to be capable certainly down to -40, but -50 as well. Sunglasses, we use category 4 glasses. The ones you buy in the shops might be 2 or 3. Category 4, you shouldn't be driving with them, but for the UV that you get up there, they're pretty essential. So we had a couple of tents up there. But sit around, the views are nice. Doesn't take long before it's pretty cold as well. And just thinking that it's not blue skies, it certainly isn't blue skies all the time. Our plans didn't quite work out as we'd hoped, so we ended up spending a couple of extra days at Camp 2 because the weather was coming in. Not that was a real problem, we had plenty of food, so we just stuck it out, and when we saw that the weather was clearing and the forecasts were looking promising, we moved on. We didn't all climb and summit together. I was with Alina and another guy, and we summited. Adam climbed with another guy about 2 weeks earlier, very fit. And I saw a little window and they said, right, we're going, and off they went. We weren't recovered enough from the previous sorties on the mountain to be able to do it. And it was a pretty cold trip for them. The winds were up, so it would have been well south of -30, probably towards the -40s with the wind chill for them. So try and get all your gear sorted before you go up on the mountain. So we knew we were going to use oxygen. So we made lots of time for getting the right masks and getting them fitted right, so that we didn't have to try and think when we're on the mountain and you're not thinking as clear as you'd like. And of course, there's time for playing around, so connecting your propane cylinder to your gas mask is always a good look. So we're on the face, we're up on Camp 3, and we've still got to get up to the South Col, which is the Camp 4 and the highest camp. So we're now at about 7,500 metres, 1421, so that's about 23,000 feet or so. So up, and then it's a traverse across into this band here, onwards from there.
That's the yellow band.
That's the yellow band, yeah. And as you can see, you get up and it's a sort of flattens out a bit. If you fell, there'd be no stopping you, but at least it's a reasonable sort of work to get across the top of the face and into the yellow band, which is that. Bit of a. It's not really that easy because you've got your crampons on, and crampons are best on snow. On ice, you've really got to kick them in and hope you can get enough purchase. And on rock, and this is like a shaly stuff. You do the best you can, and get up over this band, and you get into this area here where now you can really see where you're going with Everest, because it never shows itself until about this stage. We've got to get over this ridge, and I think we come up here, we move up through this area here, through the snow, on those lines, around the back, and we're in the South Col behind it, and then you can see where we're going afterwards. We'll be climbing up through here. And, the idea being getting to the summit.
Where's the Hillary step?
We'll get to that. I'll explain all. So now we're in the South Col, and people say how, about all the rubbish and the litter. Well, yes, there is, because quite a lot of people are on parts of the mountain, and the Sherpas aren't particularly good, aren't not good at all about keeping the place clean. They just, there's a piece of this around, I don't want it. There's no sort of, well, it's making the place look like a pigsty. That doesn't work. Even to the stage of, on one expedition, someone said, okay, we're going to pack all the rubbish up, and but don't tell the Sherpas this is rubbish, because we're going to cart it all the way down to such and such. And so the head guy said to the same bloke, what's in this boot? He says, that's rubbish, but don't tell the Sherpas, it's got to go all the way down to such and such. So he just picked up the bag, chucked it in the river and said, yeah, well, it will get there. So, anyway, but climbers are just as bad. But there isn't a lot of litter, you know, there. Adam got stuck up here for an extra day, and he did go for a walkabout and went, oh, great, a soup, I've got a can of ham. He had a good meal on it. So that is that area, and yeah, there's someone's taken the trouble to collect some of the oxygen bottles together, and they'll, you know, in the fullness of time, they'll be taken down, especially if the government actually puts some money towards paying a Sherpa to take a bottle down each time. You give him $10 to take a bottle down, it'll go down. So, an idea where we're going tonight, tomorrow night, is basically you come up through these rocks, gullies, up onto here, which is called the balcony. Around the back, we follow it up to the south summit, and then over the back. Now this is where things go a bit. So we're going to have, I'll show you the photos of Adam, who did it a couple of weeks before us. Now Adam, fit as a fiddle, 30 years old. I know it might surprise people, but I'm not 30. And he left at 8 o'clock in the night, climbed through the night, and got there at sometime after 4 in the morning, when it's light and all looks jolly. And so our view was, yep, well, if we leave at 8, it'd be nice to be there by about 7 or 8, maybe by lunchtime if we're really going slowly. Till 3 o'clock we've got to turn around if we haven't made it. So, a few photos of Adam, somewhere near the south summit.